Welcome to Brilliantly British. My name is Lawrence and today I'm going to show you how to make a deep, dark and flavoursome chocolate rice pudding with sugar-coated hazelnuts. So, knowing that you want to learn how to make it, please sit back, relax, with a cup of tea in hand, putting those feet of yours up to, and enjoy this episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Not too long ago, we shared our recipe for a delicious baked rice pudding, which for those of you who gave the recipe a try will understand why we found it to be marvelous. In this episode, we'll be sharing another rice pudding recipe, albeit this time around with chocolate fans in mind, as we walk you through our recipe for a deep, dark, baked chocolate rice pudding, complete or rather enhanced with caramel coated hazelnuts. And as always, we've kept things simple before we give you our verdict at the end during the session of tasting. And so now, with the introductions made and your interest peaking, please allow me to show you how to turn these into this. To begin preparing your chocolate rice pudding, in a saucepan, turn in white caster sugar, water, and a pinch of salt in order to begin heating your pan over a medium heat, resisting the temptation to stir, choosing instead to swirl the contents gently in order to evenly hydrate all sugar in the pan. Simply, as the contents begin to boil, you'll want to continuously monitor the consistency and color of the sugar as it cooks, with the aim of cooking it until it takes on a light amber hue, at which point quickly switch off your source of heat, turn in and coat your whole hazelnuts before finally turning out onto a silicone mat or grease-proof paper-lined tray upon which the caramel-coated nuts should be swiftly spread before leaving to cool down completely nearby. For the rice pudding itself, with a food processor, you'll want to take a moment to process yet more hazelnuts, with the aim this time around being to produce a hazelnut puree, which should eventually come about after diligently taking breaks to scrape down the sides of your machines before continuing, with the result, when finished, being the silky smooth hazelnut puree. Then, with the hazelnuts processed, into a saucepan, combine your cocoa powder with the hazelnut puree to form a homogeneous paste, which over a medium heat should be combined with cream at first, albeit incorporated incrementally against the formation of lumps. At this point, you'll then want to begin preheating your oven, and with all of the cream added, proceed by pouring in your milk all at once before mixing, at which point the contents should then be sweetened, slightly salted, and enhanced with vanilla paste, following on by warming the contents further until all salt and sugar has dissolved. Still, over a medium heat with all sugar and salt dissolved, summon and stir in your rice with the intention to bring the contents to a gentle simmer as you stir constantly. Then, once the contents begin to bubble, turn the contents out into a heavily buttered oven-proof pan or baking dish, taking a moment to ensure that the rice has been evenly distributed before transferring to your oven to braise slowly, leaving you with ample time to relax and rehydrate with Brilliantly British content in hand, making sure to help us out by liking and subscribing. Thank you. Going forward, you should find the following steps simple and straightforward. You need only attend to the contents at 30-minute intervals, with the rice at each interval noticeably swelling while the contents overall thicken with time, with the result being a deep, dark and aromatic chocolate rice pudding. How you serve it is entirely up to you. However, we recommend going the extra mile by serving it within a pastry ring and then topping it with clusters of your caramel coated hazelnuts, and then leaving to cool and set slightly before removing the ring, optionally serving with cold milk. And so now, with a delicious chocolate rice pudding made and your interest peaking, I think it's high time for tasting, tasting, tasting. Are you ready? Are you steady? 3, 2, 1. Please allow me. The best chocolate rice pudding I've had in a while, and in my lifetime I haven't had many of them, but I know my opinion is somewhat biased, but please hear me out. The rice pudding itself, there's so much depth to it. That is predominantly due to the quality of the cocoa powder that goes into it. The cocoa powder, please, really makes a difference. The preparation, of course, helps. This is a very creamy, rich dessert. It's very satisfying, and normally rice puddings tend to just be served on their own with a pool of milk around, which is obligatory. But this time around we've stepped it up and we've added some texture there in the form of these sugar-coated hazelnuts, which have been roasted, and the sugar coating has been perfectly seasoned with salt just to help to highlight the flavors. It's amazing, it's fantastic, and it calls upon that classic combination of chocolate and hazelnut. You just cannot go wrong. You just can't. And so, with all of that being said, please go out, get the ingredients to make yourselves this deep, dark, flavoursome chocolate rice pudding with the sugar-coated hazelnuts, because, as you're probably well aware, it is worth it. So please, please, please make this pudding, please. Thank you all for allowing me to show you how to make this chocolate rice pudding. Knowing that you loved this episode, don't forget to click on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button so that you don't miss any of our new releases. Tell everyone, and I mean everyone, that you know about the brilliantly British food on this channel, and follow us on all of the social media platforms that this channel is on, and I will see you next time.